Here we go, organizing and exploring learning target number 2, which is going to be volcanoes. Just a quick reminder, we're formatting it around these 3 major questions. 1, what is that change that's happening? So what are volcanoes? What do we know about them? 2, what is the impact to the Earth's climate? And finally, 3, how do we know, right? What evidence do we have? So this is essentially our because for our number 2. So we're working down here with volcanoes. We've got some keywords to use: temperature, eruptions, short term and long term. And again, we'll be formatting it around these 3 major questions. So you won't see me necessarily writing exactly what you should be writing, but I'm going to be giving you all the information here. So question number 1, what are volcanoes? This is what we're thinking about. Volcanoes erupt, right? That's what we know. So in your number 1, just a short, quick description. Volcanoes erupt. They erupt on different places around the world. They erupt gas and ash and send it into the atmosphere. And so we want to know, what do those ashes and gases do that could possibly impact the Earth's climate? So that's what we're thinking about for number 1. Number 2 is then, well, what's the impact to climate? Here's the graph that you looked at in your investigation, where each one of these lines here was a volcano. And the red line is temperature. So what we wanted to see was, what was the temperature like before compared to then after the volcano. So here we are, we got the line, there's the before and the after. So here we see a temperature drop. Here's our before the volcano, after the volcano, temperature drop. Before the volcano, after the volcano, big temperature drop. And then over here, before and after, drop. So our number 2, our immediate climate impact, short term, if you will, that's one of your keywords, right? Our short term change that you want to write about in your number 2 is that temperatures in the area of the volcano and the Earth dropped shortly after the volcano. So we saw a short-term temperature decrease. But we do notice that this line did not just continue down and down and down forever and ever, right? There was, after the short-term decrease, a longer-term warming, or essentially return to normal, right? We see the graph work its way back up to a range where the temperature was before. Again, it's not that these are going higher and higher infinitely, right? We're just seeing a return to normal temperature. So our number 2, we're thinking about short-term impact to temperature and long-term impact to temperature. Our final number 3 is, we're thinking about why, right? This is our number 3, our reasoning. And we know that there's a short-term cooling in the area because of the ash and the gas that the volcanoes are sending out. You read in your article that one of the most prominent gases erupted from a volcano is SO2, sulfur dioxide. Lost my stuff there. And so those particles in the air become a substance that actually blocks out solar heat and solar energy from the Earth's surface. So any objects or organisms here lose the opportunity to get their solar heat and energy during that time with heavy sulfur dioxide in the air. And you can see that happening right here, right? These solar rays are being reflected by that surface, sulfur dioxide. You might remember in our greenhouse talk, we said CO2 absorbs solar energy, right? Keeping heat in, What this is doing is blocking solar energy, reflecting it back out, keeping the heat away. Explaining, again, this is our number 3, explaining why we had a short-term decrease after volcanic eruptions.